Welcome to our Sunday morning meditation service. Today is December 1st. The daily word. I am inspired by hope and assured by faith, I begin my Advent journey. Hope is the seed, a possibility. My divine faculty of imagination allows the seed of hope to sprout. Nurtured by faith, the seed takes root and grows. From I hope to I believe. I believe I mindfully use these words at the start of my Advent journey and beyond. So we're going to do a call and response chant, and I hope when I call you respond. Thank you. From the point of light within, within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within, within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all. Let love descend on earth. From the center where the will of God is known. Let purpose guide the wills of all. service that the masters know and serve. From the center which I call, I call the state of love. Let the plan of love and light work out. Let the plan of love and light work out. Let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where darkness dwells. Let love and light and peace restore the plan on earth. Let love and light and peace restore the plan on earth. Let love and light and peace restore the plan on earth.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a fabulous Thanksgiving. I did. Spent Thanksgiving with most of the Groverland family and a number of friends. So we numbered about close to 20 people there at Cinticia's house. My son Dell was there with his wife and 2 children. And we had some really interesting conversations at this big table with everybody around. And we got into certain issues that we surely had to debate because we didn't agree on them. And you should know this, that if you're new here today, my son Dell is the communications manager for Robert Kennedy Jr., who ran for the presidency and later joined the Donald Trump team with hopes of being appointed to his cabinet. And my son Dell was very much instrumental in that. He is the right-hand advisor to Kennedy, although he has several advisors around him, including his wife. So at this particular Thanksgiving dinner, we had these interesting conversations about the nuances in why the election was won and lost. And it had moments where emotional debate because I and Norma voted for Kamala Harris, and so did Cynthia and Mike. So it was very interesting. But Mike's father, who we don't see very often, said something really incredible. He said, it's so refreshing to listen to people who can debate an issue so emotionally as you guys do and still joke and then have fun and love each other the way you do. But it's true, Cynthia said, because we all believe in God, that we're part of God. In fact, we raised our children in that truth. And that we are part of God and that God is love. So that is the truth, the underlying truth of our family. When we've had many different occasions where we've had long, drawn-out discussions and debates about things. I think most families are pretty good on that, but when it comes to real issues like political issues, families have been divided up all over this country over it. I think I have a couple of things to say to you this morning that aren't really what I would consider political. It's not. I don't want to create controversy here because many of you were not raised in the concept that we're all part of God and God is love. And you're still working on that. That's understandable. But Robert Kennedy's team, they're vetting out numerous people that are going to be operating underneath the umbrella of Health and Services Director. Robert Kennedy was appointed by Donald Trump to be in his cabinet as the Human Health and Services Director, and there are like 100 different departments and things that will have to be taken care of, and people have to be vetted to take those departments. And they were also involved, my son and Kennedy and their team, with vetting other candidates for Trump's cabinet. They were all down in Mar-a-Lago doing this, where Trump is operating. And it's extremely interesting that we were having these conversations and this high concept of love being the underlying aspect that allows people to have differences of opinion, real differences of opinion, and still have consideration and love for one another. And I think you'll find that true in the teachings of the Master of Life. Can we have this first PowerPoint, please. This was given at the Last Supper. And it's interesting, the Last Supper, the last big meal. While we had these conversations at the Thanksgiving dinner, this particular truth was shared by the Master of Life. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this. I didn't get a chance to change that, but there it is in its, its uniqueness from the past. That a person lay down his or her life for his friends, her friends. You are my friends, if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. This I command you, to love one another. The key element in this particular speech, this final speech at the Last Supper, there's a number of them. Number one, I am calling you friends because the insight of divine awareness I have shared with you. In other words, all that my Father has to give, I have shared with you. So you're not just a servant following me because you believe on a particular, you're following these truths. And the truth has to do with laying down one's life. If you are going to truly love one another, it will require that. That life that we have lived strongly, powerfully, with our growing up and our experiences, develops a consciousness we refer to today as ego awareness. And that is the life that we are in the process of laying down, placing it second to the truth, which is what one will have to do if one really wants the truth that will make him or her free. I assure you, that truth exists, that there is a truth that makes free any who can embrace it. But to embrace it, one has to place his ego-centered idea of self beneath the seeking of this truth. So it is for us, at least in the beginning of our journeys, a hard calling. We've grown so used to the illusion of our separateness and our limited concepts, which we believe in totally, but are not necessarily true. And the hardest thing for all of us to do on this journey, it's not an intellectual concept that makes us free. Are you willing to be truthful enough to embrace the universal truth? Are you brave enough to do that? Because that only can make you free. So, this is from the great modern-day prophet and seer, psychic, Edgar Cayce. Can we move this next? In regards to love, this is a reading that Edgar Cayce gave. The reading number is 3744. What is the law of love? A, giving. As is given in this injunction, love thy neighbor as thyself. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, thy soul, and thy body. In this, as in many, we see upon the physical or the earth or material plane the manifestations of the law without the law itself, which he means is there is giving going on, but quite often it's not motivated by love. That is the law of love, giving in action without the force felt, that is the love felt, without the love expressed, without the love manifested, without the love shown, desired, or as reward. From that giving, not the law of love does any with others. Let me get this again. Not that the law of love does away with other laws, but makes the law of recompense, the law of faith, the law of divine, with the law of earth forces, if you please, of effect, not defect, but effect. So we have love is law is love, God is love is God. Now, if we as individuals upon the earth plane have all of the other elementary forces that make to the bettering of life and have not love, we are as nothing. Nothing. So the powerful emphasis there about that which we are truly seeking. That's our true nature. We are made in the image and likeness of God, and the nature of God is love. So, even though in appearances we sometimes can't reckon the miracle, miraculous, refined awareness of God consciousness. But let me do something that gobsmacked me this morning. And here's how it came about. At the Thanksgiving dinner, when I was with Dell, and there weren't lots of people around at that point, there was like 5 of us still at the table. Dell said, when we went to Mar-a-Lago, and our team was invited in with the Trump team to pick the cabinet members, we were handed a slip of paper, what was Trump's agenda. And he said, Dad, I know you're not going to believe this, but he said at the top of his agenda, it is written to all Republicans, we are not going to touch Social Security. And underneath that, it is written, we are not going to banish Obamacare. I don't know how political you are, but if you understand what Trump was in the past and what the Republicans were about doing in the past, was all about abolishing Obamacare. And in behalf of the huge insurance companies and their lobbyists. All right, so I took that in stride, okay? And Dell said to me, I think you're going to be shocked, because he said, I really believe, after listening, that Trump wants to be the most liked president by the people of America, of any president that ever lived. It's just never had been my understanding of Donald Trump. This morning, I was knocked out of my car. Went to turn the heat on in the car, because Norm was going to be up in a few minutes, and the radio automatically went on. And someone in the news department said, President-elect Donald Trump has said, before it was prefaced by this thought, the credit card debt in this country is over a billion, it's over $6.5 billion. And it's a huge burden on all the people that have credit cards because they're having a hard time with inflation in this, and their debt on the credit cards, so many will not be able to get out from under it. President-elect Donald Trump today announced he is putting a stop on credit card debt at 10%. That will be the limit that can be charged anyone with credit card debt. You realize what that is? Bernie Sanders came out and said, if that's what he's going to do, I am so for it. Bernie Sanders, the most Democrat of Democrats. And that came on the radio today, which kind of supports Dell's idea to me that he wants to be the people's president, wants to be the most liked president American people ever had. We could be looking at some kind of epiphany, in other words, some kind of spiritual transformation which has taken place in someone who we have all come to see, not all of us, maybe some of you have seen this, but there's a lot of us that have come to see him in a darker light than that. So this will be amazing. I know that along the way we have had opportunities where we have prayed for him to have some kind of epiphany or spiritual awakening. We could be watching this happen. And it comes right down to this beautiful statement made by Isaiah. The statement actually didn't come this way from Isaiah, but has been taken up this way. God moves in mysterious ways his edicts to perform. He moves in mysterious ways his edicts to support. In other words, mysterious beyond our physical, personal comprehension, God moves to make things happen that are for the benefit of everyone. And so we might be seriously in the mix of this occurring in our country. Because if you had gone to anybody in Las Vegas and said, I want to make a bet that Donald Trump is going to cap credit card debt at 10%, they would have said, what do you want to bet on it? We'll give you 1,000 to 1 odds. It's just not him. And so, as I said, we are in an amazing thing. And the thing we should know about Edgar Casey's truth is this thing about giving, that giving is really the outward expression of love. And it carries on in every area of our life, right down to consciousness. Whatever one is giving out in consciousness, one is receiving, not to be received on a distant day in some heaven beyond the stars where we're judged on what we thought, but now. So where you are in consciousness is being revealed to you. I heard Swami Rama, a really keen guru who has since taken leave of his body, but he said at a meeting in the ARE in New York City to a person who was complaining about all the things that's going wrong in her life. He said, do you love your life? She said, of course not. He said, change your mind. You don't love your life, change your mind. Because your mind is set up to be aligned with your nature, and your nature is love. And if your mind is aligned with love, and really universal love, you are going to prosper in every possible way in your life. So let's have this next PowerPoint. This is A Course in Miracles, page 92. That's the old text. It's in the new one, and most of you have the new text. It's on page 100. This is a course speaking directly to us without any limited ideas. It's not, Course in Miracles is not trying to couch things in such a way as they would be accepted. It is simply saying things the way it is. You are only love. But when you deny this, you make what you are something you must learn to remember. I said before, and this is the Master speaking, that the message of the resurrection is, teach only love, for that is what you are. This is the one lesson that is perfectly unified, because it is the only lesson that is one. Only by teaching it can you learn it. As you teach, so will you learn. And that is true, and it is true indeed. Do not forget that what you teach is teaching you. In other words, in consciousness, what is coming through you as what you believe yourself to be is exactly what is being mirrored back to you by the response you're receiving from all the elements in life, people in life, conditions in life, everything around you in life is responding to what you believe yourself to be. So it is in giving that we are always receiving. And then the next part of this kind of cautions us. Can we have the next PowerPoint, please? This is a little further down. Teach attack in any form, and you have learned it, and it will hurt you. Yet this learning is not immortal, and you can unlearn it by not teaching it. Since you cannot not teach, in other words, you have to be teaching something. If you're alive, something is coming through you. Your salvation lies in teaching the exact opposite of everything the ego believes. This is how you will learn the truth that will set you free and will keep you free as others learn it of you. The only way to have peace is to teach peace. By teaching peace, you must learn it yourself, because you cannot teach what you still dissociate. Can we have this back again, this particular PowerPoint? Teach attack in any form, and you have learned it, and it will hurt you. Yet this learning is not immortal, and you can unlearn by not teaching it. Since you cannot not teach, your salvation lies in teaching the exact opposite of everything the ego believes. This is how you will learn the truth that will set you free and will keep you free as others learn it of you. The only way to have peace is to teach peace. By teaching peace, you must learn it yourself, because you cannot teach what you still dissociate. Sometimes I hear people complain about, why don't we have an Edgar Cayce today? Someone you could go to who really was in touch with the source of creation. But we do. It's within us. Casey'd be the first, and was the first, not the first, but of many that has told us. The same source that brings to his readings that insight and understanding resides in every human being at the core of their being, at the core of your nature. But we have been so long involved in worshiping the intellect and thinking that in some way the intellect will bail us out of the many problems the world suffers from. The only way to bail out of the suffering of the world is to transcend it within your own consciousness. And as you do that, you will look with compassion upon that which is suffering. You will look with love upon that which needs healing. You will look with peace upon that which screams out, cries out for peace. Trust me, there's no other religion but what I've just said to you. You want life, you want it abundantly, you want it joyfully, you want it beautifully, you want to be free. Come back to that presence at the core of your nature through prayer, meditation, and service of the moment called here and now. That's key. Every moment we find ourselves in this here and now, that moment awaits our divine consciousness. If we ignore it, if we dissociate it, then we taint that moment and we taint the repercussions from that moment. So we had an amazing Thanksgiving dinner. We had a lot of, all of our grandchildren were there, except for one. One. I've lost track. I've got 6 grandchildren, I know that. So we had 5 of them, and we had some of them who had brought a little buddy that they knew when they lived here. So it was an amazing thing to watch children in the process of all that the adults were doing and enjoying and joking about. The children were also enjoying their present moment. They were so natural and so real at drawing out these toys and these dolls and playing make-believe with them, and really almost oblivious of the fact that there were all these adults present there. They had their own life form, their own consciousness, and it was so pure and so beautiful to watch. And I have this understanding that the children today are really going to change this world. As a matter of fact, we could be in the middle of one of the greatest changes that will ever occur in the world if, in fact, this president-elect has decided he wants to be loved instead of feared. We are in for something new. Anyway, I talked to my son Dell about Elon Musk, who was down there with Trump's team, and he's probably the richest guy in the world. And Dell says he's very authentic with what he believes. He believes in himself. He makes no bones about that. And it's an interesting thing that this guy has an amazing insight into things financial. You know that he fired about 85% of all the people that worked for Twitter. When he bought it, he fired 85% of them and is operating the whole thing just the way it is. And it's now making as much money as it ever made. So he must know something about another thing my son said. This is all inside information, by the way, and some of it may be, I don't know, it may be hard for you or difficult for you. I don't know. I can understand if you had really strong feelings and somebody's up here. I'm not talking politics, I don't think. I'm talking spiritual transformation. But in any case, there's this whole movement. Whatever you have come to believe about Robert Kennedy Jr. and his beliefs about health and vaccines and things like that, whatever you have come to believe about the team that they have to grow, they have 100 agencies under them that they have to work with, to get to work with them. Whatever you believe about them, that team, let me say this. They are dedicated to helping people in this country and the world better understand how health works. And they have scientists with them that have been researching this for years. And they are going according to the science of their research to try to help people find their way into allowing their immune system to work beautifully and not be hampered by living styles that are not in keeping with that. It's not dogma that they're going to be putting out there. It's scientific research. That's all they're going to be putting out there. That these researchers have done this. Over the years, they have researched this. They have found this. They know this about these foods. They know this about this health stuff. That's all they're involved in, all of them. They're dedicated to the health of the American people. And that's why they have formed their organization from the very beginning, MAHA. And it's gone right out of my head what it means. Make America healthy again. Thank you. And believe me, that is their quest. And what could be better than that, than to have that as the ideal in the Health and Human Services Department of the United States of America. And if you still have some questions about this talk, we will have our group meeting and discussion. And you can talk about anything to do with this talk or anything to do with unity itself. So when this is over, go have some refreshments in Fellowship Hall. And then if you want to, you can join the discussion group. I'll be over there just a few minutes after the talk. Let's have a meditation now. And take a couple of deep breaths and release your breath with the idea that our Creator moves in mysterious ways from our point of view. His edicts, His lessons, His truths to perform. Take a couple of deep breaths on that. And breathe your way here into this moment. sitting here accepting the peace that is a gift of life for those who accept it. Accept the peace that is the gift of life just for the accepting of it. And you can use this particular mantra to quiet the thinking mind, not to fight with it or to abolish it, but to give it its place behind insight, love, and God consciousness. Take this mantra gently into your mind. God is love. Love is life. I am God's life. I am. God is love. Love is life. I am God's life. I am. I am. God is love. Love is true life. I am God's true life. I am. I am. Breathing in the I, breathing out the am. I am. I am. I am. as we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space. Let us go forth with a greater determination to be love, see love, serve love. And so it is. We will take an offering for unity now. As we're preparing to do this, I'm speaking to the people that are watching this live stream. If you're on our website, you can go up to the top right-hand corner where it says donate. You have the different ways here that you can donate to Unity of Boulder. I would encourage you to donate, which is also falls into the law of life of giving. For it is in giving that we do, in fact, receive on every level. And those of us here, we can bring into our hands, into our minds, and from our hearts, we can give to unity by blessing this offering with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
There's a light within me and is burning, and I know this light can change the world. For this light that's living deep inside my soul comes from God living in me. There's a light within me and is burning, and I know this light can change the world. For this light that's living deep inside my soul comes from God living in me. Comes from God living in me.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. We have any announcements coming up?
We'll be practicing for Christmas after the second service. So anybody interested in coming and being in the choir, it's just really carols and just feeling the whole Christmas season. So come and join us.
So that'll take place after the second service. Question? Oh, a craft fair, yes, thank you. We have a craft fair taking place in Fellowship Hall. I guess if we're going to have a meeting of any kind, it'll have to take place in the auxiliary bookstore, which would be through these doors to your left. We have a little adjacent room there off the main bookstore. Now we can circle some chairs up if you have some discussions that you want to have. But do first take a tour through the craft fair. You've got plenty of time for that. And to everyone, have a beautiful, enlightened day. Okay.